Elizabeth Warren got in on the fun of beating up Michael Bloomberg at the debate. And honestly, this was like within the first, 5 minutes of the debate. It was the first time she spoke. And she semi-knocked him out with one punch here. Now, the night went on and Biden got in and destroyed Bloomberg, and Bernie repeatedly destroyed Bloomberg. Everybody except Pete basically destroyed Bloomberg. But this was when we knew the fun was beginning, because Liz comes in and she's got, like a bat with barbed wire wrapped around it. And look at what she does to him.
Can Senator Sanders beat President Trump, and how do you want to respond to what else he said?
I don't think there's any chance of the senator beating President Trump. You don't start out by saying, I've got 160 million people. I'm going to take away the insurance plan that they love. That's just not a ways that you go and start building the coalition that the Sanders camp thinks that they can do. I don't think there's any chance whatsoever. And if he goes and is the candidate, we will have Donald Trump for another 4 years, and we can't stand that.
So I'd like to talk about who we're running against. A billionaire who calls women fat broads and horse-faced lesbians. And no, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about Mayor Bloomberg. Democrats are not going to win if we have a nominee who has a history of hiding his tax returns, of harassing women, and of supporting racist policies like redlining and stop and frisk. Look, I'll support whoever the Democratic nominee is, but understand this. Democrats take a huge risk if we just substitute one arrogant billionaire for another. This country has worked for the rich for a long time and left everyone else in the dirt. It is time to have a president who will be on the side of working families and be willing to get out there and fight for them. That is why I am in this race, and that is how I will beat Donald Trump.
Senator, we got to wait.
Okay, well, you're too far back to do that. You're out of it. There's no path for you. But aside from that last line, damn. The funny thing is, when she brought up his quotes about horse-faced lesbians or whatever it was, I actually thought, like, my mind went down the path she was trying to get it to go down. My mind was like, so she's going to attack Bloomberg, she's going to bring up Donald Trump? That's sort of weak. But then she's like, no, he said that. I was like, oh, he did? So that worked. What she did there worked perfectly. Yeah. Total destruction, man. Again, this was the first thing she said. And oh my God, Bloomberg's fear-mongering. I don't think there's any way Bernie would beat Donald Trump. My dude, you wouldn't even be on stage if you didn't buy your way on there. You gave $300 to the DNC and they changed the debate rules to get you on there. You gave $800,000 to the Democratic Grassroots Victory Fund, which is the amalgamation of the state Democratic parties. You've been given more donations individually to each state party. Who are you kidding, bro? You spent $351 million in ads and basically bought yourself 10 to 13% in the polls, and that's why you're on stage. The sense of entitlement, it's unbelievable. Like, what do you think? Nobody's looking at what you do? You shouldn't even be there. Talking about Bernie Sanders, there's no way this guy's going to win. And then what does he do? Same disingenuous Republican framing. Why does Bernie Sanders want to take away people's health care? He wants to give everybody health care. Medicare for all covers everybody and it's free at the point of service, full stop. Everything is covered, free at the point of service. What part of that are you not getting? But they get it. They're just lying about it. See, and I tweeted this last night, and it really is stunning to me. I don't think I've seen a single attack yet from other candidates in this election that accurately characterizes Bernie Sanders' beliefs. So what they do is they lie about him up front, they smear him, they straw man him, and then they go on to explain what their position is. Like, you do realize that if you were a strong candidate, you wouldn't have to smear him. You would just say, hey, here's what Bernie believes, here are his beliefs, and I'm accurately going to categorize them and characterize them. And then you move on and say, here's why I disagree with it, and it's a genuine disagreement. I simply don't agree, I'm more centrist, here's why the centrist position is preferable. Not a single one has done that. There's never been an honest disagreement every time, and Mayor Pete did this repeatedly throughout the night too. It's I'm going to lie and tell you what I think you believe, even though it's wrong, and then I'm going to attack that position I just made up. Well, then you're a clown and you're a fool and you got nothing. You got Dickie McGee's axe on him, which is why, what did they do? They spent like at least 10 minutes on the Bernie bro nonsense. So I think Warren did a wonderful job there. I said this earlier, but I actually think she had the best night. I think she won the debate. But I also happen to know it's too little too late for her. So since it's too little too late, all she's doing, and she's not taking from Bernie's people, just so everybody knows. The numbers show she's really taking from the other centrists up there. So, hey man, go ahead. Elizabeth Warren, Amy Klobuchar, Mayor Pete, Joe Biden, and Mike Bloomberg, go ahead. You guys fight amongst yourselves and split that vote from now until the cows come home, and Bernie will prance right through. So, but I do think she had a very good night, and I do think that she, apart from like 2 or 3 shots at Bernie, most of the night she went Elizabeth Warren classic, which is, I'm not going to listen to the Hillary and Kamala advisors and just talk about my gender all night. I'm going to go populist, old school. And so she did. She tried to be like Bernie, except now younger and female. So I think she won the debate, but it's just too little too late. If she had acted like this all along, she would have been a force to be reckoned with, man. But now what she's doing, I call it the Chris Christie. Because Chris Christie did this in 2016 in the Republican primary. He went out guns blazing and he took down Marco Rubio with him. And it was a beautiful thing to see, man. He took down Marco Rubio, he was the glitchy Marco bot, and he said, why are you repeating the same thing over and over? Like, say something original. Because Marco kept saying, we have to dispel with this notion that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. And he said it like 4 times, and he melted down. And he imploded after Chris Christie pointed it out. Now, Liz is doing a similar thing to Chris Christie. She's too far back, she's too far gone, but she's like, hey, you know what? Locked and loaded, bitch, here I go. And she's just going out in a blaze of glory. So, anyway, that was wonderful, and there's nothing I love more than watching Michael Bloomberg get humiliated.